here at the moment. You'll see I'm working on a beauty website at the moment. I'm working with a woman called Jodie Sherwin-Hill, who's going to be giving a talk. So I've been building a video for her. I'm working with BB's Biltong. There's their stuff. Everything I want, my own masterclasses. So anything I want, I can find here. And what I love most about Canva is no matter what device I'm on, I can find Canva at that particular point. So let me just see if I can find my AirServe for you. I'll switch on. And I want to show you what's happening on my iPad at the exact same time that I'm speaking. So just give me 1 second to set this up for you. QR code activation. Those of you that aren't aware, you can project your iPhone onto your where's ASA Connect? I'll see if I can do that for you while that's connecting. So as I said, what I love about Canva, no matter where I am, I log onto a client's computer, I log into my own computer, I log onto my iPad, I log onto my phone, I'll always see the same kind of stuff. So there's all my designs. I can also look at my recent designs just to look at the ones I'm working on at the moment. Here's a folder of all the stuff that's been shared with me. I don't really have anything. A few people have sent me some stuff just to have a look at. Then I can, so you could send me something, I can redo it for you, I can talk it up. Here are what I call my brand kits. In other words, here are the logos that I tend to use very often, as well as the fonts that I've uploaded myself, color palettes that I've created that I can see. For example, there's an Ort color palette. If I'm doing anything for Ort, those are the 2 colors I'll use. And I can also add and discover palettes over here. I can go look for other ones. I can say corporate. Let's see what happens if anything comes up on corporate. There's a corporate March. I can add that palette. Anytime I want that palette's there for me, I can use those particular colors, anything. Very importantly, here are all the fonts that I've uploaded. So when I'm working with a particular client, I might want to use their font. Or for something like, if you see how I've uploaded one called Batman Forever, if I'm doing something fun with Batman, I want a font like Batman's there. And in order to upload my own fonts, and this is only available on Premiere Pro, sorry, on Canva Pro, not for beginners, but in order to upload a font, there's my little font button over there. I just click on it, and I go into my, click on it, open, confirm that I want to upload the font. And now I've got a spray painting font on there as well. It's been added somewhere here. I should be able to see Sister Font. I don't remember what it was called, Sister Spray or something like that. There it is. There's Sister Spray. Is uploaded for me as well. So that's how I upload my own fonts. Carrying on the right-hand side over here, there's the content planner. Now, I don't use this. Some people do. You can remind yourself to post on your Instagram post once a week or anything, but not something that I use. Something that I started using a lot more just recently is all my own folders. So I tend to now put things in my folders. So for example, I'm working with a coffee shop called The Daily. If I double click on it, there's everything I need for The Daily. There's their stuff all in the same place. Go back to my folders. As I said, I'm working with Brett and Deline and the Biltong. Everything I want for the Biltong site is there. It's not on my page every day. I can go back and look at it when I want. And then I've also created one here called Miscellaneous Logos. So these are all the kind of logos that I might use, ones I've created, things that I've done at any particular time. I'm pretty sure there's HereGear. There's HereGear's logo. So if I want to add HereGear's logo to one of my designs, it's there. And there's HereGear even with a transparent background. So we might come back and use that at the moment. So I've gone out of my way to create more folders to keep myself a little bit more organized. I also use my trash folder a lot because it doesn't delete from my trash folder. And as soon as like for example, there's a nice one, stop talking cuck with it. As soon as here's my Harry and Meghan one. Made for Lynn, there's Sasha. So I do keep stuff in trash as well, but let me go back to my home page. There's my home page. Now, today, what I really want to do in Canva is teach you some tricks and find you some stuff that maybe you haven't looked at or played with before. So I made a little list. I want you to give me 1 second as I find this list that I actually printed out and then mislaid. Really clever, Mike. I made myself this kind of extensive list of things I'd like you to at least have heard about or know about by the time we finish. So let's start off with some of the basics. As I'm about to start, I always decide, I hit on the Create Design button, and that's where I pick the size of the design that I want to pick. So for this particular thing, we're going to make a Facebook post. That's probably one of your most used ones. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to pop up in the most regular. I don't know why, because I do them all the time, but no problem. If I just type in the word Facebook at the top there, it'll tell me all the things I need for Facebook. So if I'm making a Facebook video, a Facebook story, a Facebook cover, Facebook event, it's all there. But simply, I'm going to click on Facebook post. Now, the nice thing about Canva is that they have worked out the ideal size for all the things that they need. So you don't have to go in and hunt and find a new size. So let me just go back there. Let's say, for example, I want to make a LinkedIn banner for a client. No problem. I just type in the word LinkedIn. And there's a LinkedIn banner. I can click on that and automatically have the right size for the LinkedIn banner. So doing things in the right size to start helps you and saves you a lot of aggravation in the long run. So let's go back to our size. So the first thing I want to teach you is you want to type something, and you want to add text, just press T on the keyboard and up it pops. That's how easy it is. Let me get rid of that again. I want to start typing. I simply hit the letter T on the keyboard and up comes. I don't even have to go to text, add a heading, add a subtitle. It is all there, but I can just start off by pressing that. So now that's a couple of other ways to add text. There we are, add text. There's a heading text that I've created. There's a subheading text. There's a little smaller text. I can also choose from something here. I can say, okay, I want to put a quote down by one of my favorite people. There's my quote. Who needs a boyfriend when you have best set of friends? I try and convince Sasha that. She doesn't always believe me. She thinks boyfriends are more important, but I'm kind of working on that. I'll stress to her that it's not important. So there's a simple little thing for creating text. The next thing I want to show you is how to create multiple pages. This is also a lifesaver for me. Let's say, for example, I'm working now in this particular thing, but I'd like to try all of these in a different color. But I don't want to lose them. There's a little plus button over there. By hitting the plus button, all it does is duplicate that page for me. Another way I can do it is at the bottom here, I can hit the button Add Page, and that'll add a blank page. So there's a couple of really quick ways to duplicate your page. The really nice thing about this is I can go here. Now I can change the color, but we'll come to that a bit later on. And I can change this color, and I can change the color in this one over here. And now I'm able to compare the two without having lost one. So that I don't have to keep coming back and going back and everything like that. So that's a very important thing for me. And while we're here, let's play with the fonts a little bit, just to make sure we all understand how the fonts work. So I'm just going to leave the heading over there. Let's just get rid of that. Sorry, it's gone. Here's a heading. And I'm going to type in Canva for beginners. Did I spell beginners right? So now the very first thing I can do with this, by dragging the corners, I can make it bigger or smaller. Everything in Canva works on sizes like this. Another thing I want you to notice is, can you see that pink box that's cropping up over there? As I move inside there, that's kind of known as a safe zone. Wherever possible, keep the important part of your design inside that safe zone so that it can't be cut out. So now I've got this. I want to move it. Simply drag and drop. Simple as that. Another thing I can do is I can hit the button here. Where's my extras? I'll come to that one just now for you. Let me just go on here. So the next thing I can do is I can increase the size of the font. I can do that by simply clicking on the button up at the top there. Or if I know the size I want, I can drag down here. I can jump to 80. And there we go. I have my font. Watch as I drag it. It shows me that I'm in the middle. It shows me in the middle. I've got Canva for Beginners. Now I've got it here, but this font's looking a little bit plain for me. The very first thing I can do is I can go to the color bar. And in the color bar, I can actually select a color for myself. Now, let's say the color that I'm looking for is not actually here. How would I find it? I can pop in here to new color, I can click on it and I can actually drag the slider along until I find the kind of color that I'm looking for. And see, I can kind of find a color. Or this here is known as a hex code. I can enter a hex code in there at the moment. So let's try and find out what Facebook's hex code is. Hex color, Facebook's hex color. I've just done a search for it, and it tells me that Facebook's hex color is hashtag 3B5998. I'm going to simply cut that in. I'm going to pop that in there. And I'm actually now working in Facebook's color for 2020. To see if that is the right color. Yeah, that's the one they're showing me. So any color that I want, I can use a client's color, I can change the color, I can do anything what I want. Another thing that I might want to do is I might want to change how close and how far things are apart. And over here, little spacing button, click that. And by dragging this, I can actually close the gap. So sometimes in my designs, when I'm looking for something a little bit smaller or I haven't got quite enough space, I might close that, that space off a little bit. Another thing I can do is I can stretch out the letters if I want. I want to fill some space, I can stretch out the letters, or I can bring them closer and closer if there's something that's kind of fun that I want to do. But most of the time when it comes to letter spacing, also known as kerneling, that you'll kind of leave the same. I can also move the text boxes around, no problem, where it is anchored to the text. But that gives you some pretty good idea. Another thing I can do with it while I'm here, let's say I want this to overlap on something, I can change its opacity or transparency. So just by doing this, I can raise. So let's say I want to just have Canva for beginners somewhere in the background. I could have done that. We'll come to a bit later. Another thing with font, which is really nice, that brought this out recently, is this little button here called Effects. As you open up Effects, you get a whole lot of options. So for example, in the past, if you wanted to create a shadow with Canva, you needed to duplicate that, put it behind the one, drop it. So it was a whole thing. Now I can simply click on the word shadow, and there is the shadow. Another thing I can do with the shadow is I can choose the direction I want it to be in. So for example, if I'm doing something where the light is coming from the bottom, I put it there. If the light's coming from the top, I put it over there. I can also decide how much I want to offset my shadow. If I want to create a really big offset for it, I can blur the shadow in the background, giving the effect that like the sun shining and somewhere at the back there. And I can also drop the transparency. So now all of a sudden I've created this effect where the letters almost look like they're floating in the air at that particular time. So there's a nice little trick. Let's go back to none and show you the next one. The next one's called lift. What lift does is it creates a kind of shadow all around without any direction all around it, and you're able to bring it out. Now, sometimes when I use that is when the color of the font is light and I want it to stand out against the background. So then I might create the lift around it, or the shadow. I'll go in and look at the effects and see which one works for me. I can drop the amount of lift, I can raise it, whatever I want to do. Just a really great little thing. Let's go back to none, change our color to one that we can see. There's my Canva for beginners. I'm going back to effects. Here's another great little one, hollow. What an excellent little, funky little way to create fonts. It's now hollow. If I were to put something behind it, let me just change the background for you, just to give you a light color in the background so you can see what's happening. Oh, sorry, that's the background. Change the color, go back to the font, change that color to black. So you'll see that I've now even created something that's see-through. I could have an image behind it. Instead of that, I'll pop over to photos, and I'm just going to pop that in there. I'll show you what I've done there. Now I've created a really nice effect by using the font. The only thing you cannot do on Canva with the fonts is you cannot have multiple effects on the same one. So I can't have, for example, hollow with a shadow. I'd have to create that myself, and there are ways to do that. So that's the hollow effect. There's a splice effect, just to give you something really a little bit out of the ordinary. There's this echo effect where it's slowly fading out. I can offset that even more and give the kind of effect It gives the effect of movement. That's a really nice thing about an offset effect. There's something here called glitch. Gives it a kind of, we're on TV, we're on, that's a great Instagram. You wouldn't use that too much on Facebook, but on Instagram, when dealing with a really young audience and making the effect of say, for example, an out of focus screen, that's a really great effect. Then, of course, there's neon, if you want to really get a bit fancy, but for neon, you need to bring in a nice bright color, and it gives the effect that it's neon. Once again, I can go back there, I can drop or increase the intensity of it. And a new favorite for a lot of people at the moment, and I'm just going to delete this at the moment. Control Z. I actually want to delete that one. I'm going to put in some new text. I'm going to put in I love jet training. Then what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to just bold it because it's a bit much. And I'm going to do one of the favorite effects at the moment, which is curve. You can actually curve the text. And you can see that I can actually curve or uncurve it. I can actually run it around a circle. So for example, if I had a circle, I could, let's do something a little bit fun just for now. Let's go to elements. Let's look for an element of a heart. There's a nice heart. I'm going to pop that heart in there. Because we're dealing with Orjet, let's change it to Orjet blue. And now what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to just, I love, but let's make it I love Orjet just for fun. So I'm first going to go delete that. So I'm just going to work with the I love. There's the I love. I'm going to put the I love there on that little thing. And I'm going to move it down. And I'm going to move it bigger. Give it a bit more curve. Move it up a bit. So I can do that with the I love. Another thing which works really well with I love is now the spacing. Now is the one time.
Ask a question, please.
Please do.
Where did that circle come from? Does that blue circle, was it automatic when you press on the curve? Where does the blue circle come from?
So if I go to effects, and I string the curve, it's moving automatically.
Oh, so you don't find the curve, it automatically pops up.
Automatically, it'll pick up. So I can keep working until I found exactly the spot. Oh, no, I want a little bit less. I'm actually using my mouse to control it. Now I'm just going to move it across just fractionally. There we go. Now what I'm going to do with this, all I want to do is duplicate the I love. There's a button in the top right-hand side. I click duplicate. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to change it to Jet. And there's I love Jet. So unfortunately, they overlapping a little bit. So let's make it a bit down to 42. Bring this one down to 42. Move it around a bit with my mouse.
Okay, so I want to just clarify. So simply because you duplicated the I love, it duplicated the curve as well. Is that correct?
Exactly, yes. In fact, I duplicated this as an element. I didn't just cut the words. If I want to cut the words, I can double click on it and I can highlight the words, press Control C, and then I can drop them, for example, somewhere else. And then they won't have that.
Okay, so let me ask you, behind, because what I'm seeing on my screen is your heart element. So behind that, is there the circular effect element? Is that what it is?
Well, there isn't. You won't see anything. You won't see the effect. It'll only come up when I'm working in it.
Oh, okay.
If I click on it and I click effects and I run the actual, that's when it'll come up and it'll disappear the moment I stop. It's a guideline offered by Canva.
Okay.
So that's just that's a great way to make text. And another thing that you're going to find more and more people are doing. So for example, I'm going to give you something else here. I'm just going to add some more text. I'm going to put here, I love here, because I know that my client is here. So I have to Hunter and a wonderful business. So there's an audiology business. I'm going to put this here and I put I love here. I'm going to go back to effects. I'm going to give it a curve. I actually want to space it a little bit because those letters are coming a little bit too close to each other. There we go. I'm going to drop the curve a little bit to kind of there. So now I've created this. Now I'm going to duplicate that, like I said. There we go. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to put it over here, but I'm going to do something quite different with it. This time I'm going to go to the curve, and I'm going to take the curve back the other way. And I'm going to make that look like I'm writing, I love here, duplicate that one, put it off the end there. Let's make this one, Charlene's colors are, one of them is definitely purple, one of them is a kind of pink, one of them is a darker purple. And then you just have this remarkable effect that I can use while I'm doing some advertising. And if I'm really clever, I can go into my elements again, and I can look for an ear. I can see something that I like. I can pop that just over there, just for fun. Make it a bit smaller. Change its color, because that's not one of the colors. Let's use the pink. And that's really, what else I can do with it just for fun? I can turn it. Not that it works in this particular case. I just want to show you that you can do anything with it. And I can drop it down there into that little gap. If that's what if that's what I wanted to do. Or here's another thing. What about this? I want to move all of these at the same time. So I need to group them. So I can click on one of them, hold down my shift key, click on the next one, hold down my shift key to the next one. Now I've created a group with them. Now what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to tilt them all. They're at 90 degrees. I'm going to bring them all in. I'm going to make that like it's a piece of art in the bus shelter. Where she is. And there we are. In kind of a couple of seconds, I've created my own little advert for I love here, bus shelter, whatever it is. So play with the fonts. There are some amazing, I'm just going to go back to the fonts because we're jumping ahead of ourselves at the moment. Play with the fonts. Another thing, sorry, just while I'm on the fonts, I'm just going to go back a couple of steps. Oh, by the way, your Control Z takes you back, and your Control Shift Z takes you forward. So if you've made a mistake, no problem, you can change it. Another thing I might want to do is I might want to change the actual font itself. Then I can click there and I can look for different fonts. I can see how it look go on that font. I can go there, I can look for something particular. So for example, I can look for handwriting. It'll bring me all my handwriting fonts that I want. So there's I love here. We're going to use the same fonts for everything. The nice thing about this is that it always shows you the fonts you're using. Change them all to the same font. Now all I have to do is line them up again. So obviously, and what you'll notice about the font is that the font that you choose will determine the style. So for example, if I'm doing something light and frivolous and for children or an outdoor market, I might use something like that. But if I'm doing something for a corporate, then of course I'd like to use a more corporate font. Once again, just click on there, go into my fonts, click on fonts, go to corporate. See if they offer me anything under corporate. A whole lot. So they would recommend something a lot more straight and neat, whatever, for a corporate. Go back there, Control Z. So that I think is fun.
Mike, can you put a picture in one of the letters? Like could you put an ear into the E?
Okay, so yes and no. Okay, so let me explain the yes and no. So no, you can't, but yes, you can. And the way to do that is a bit of a cheat. I'm just going to remove this background image for now so that it's blank. And I'm going to go to elements. And I'm going to, in fact, let's go to elements. I'm just going to clear all my elements. And there are things in here called frames and grids. And if I go to all the frames and I go down to the bottom somewhere, I'm going to find the letters that I'm looking for. So for example, there's an E. Now I've created an E that's actually a picture. and I can go back to my photographs. I can look for an ear. Let's look for a hearing aid. Hearing aid. There's a hearing aid. I can move that hearing aid right into the picture. And if I'm not happy exactly where the hearing aid is, I sit there and I just hit crop and I'll move it just fractionally. It gives me a kind of outline. So there we have created the E. But of course, here is spelled a lot. Let's just do the word here just for fun. So I've got that letter there. I'll go back to my elements where I was. I'll type in my H. I can line them up to make sure they're the exact same size. What I love about Canva is it clicks to everything. So now we've got H, E, A. Line it up with the other fonts to make them the right size. A. It's a little bit far. We want to do some spacing here. And the letter R. There we go. That one's not quite the right size. I drag it, it'll show me the right size. So now I'm going to each one of them, go back to photos, go back to my hearing aid.
Can we get a nicer hearing aid? That's a horrible one.
Sorry, you can ask me for that when I make your website, not when I'm doing Canva training.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. What I'm trying to do is actually find some that are more or less the same. They have just the hearing aid and not not too much background. Is there another one, plain one?
That's one. That one's better.
Oh, you see, this is what happens when you have an audiologist on board.
Sorry.
Drop that into the R. You see, the problem with that one is the R doesn't stand out because it's got such a white background. That's why I was actually looking just for this exercise to find something
Fine.
with a bit of color. I'm actually going to drop that one and then just, but just to show you, that's what you can kind of do with, Yeah, I can put them all together, combine them, look at their position. I can group them together. I can ungroup them. Put them all together so that I can move them around. I can change their size.
Mike, can you just recap how I can see how the letters become a frame, but how did you move the pick to get it better placed within inside the letters? What were you?
No problem. I'm going to do that for you right now. So what I'm going to do is quickly, just to show you that, I'm going to delete some of these and make the one a bit bigger. So here's my H. In fact, let's just delete it. So this is my H as I found it. And just for a change, I'm going to put something else in here. I'm going to put play. So I want something that looks, so for example, I'm going to pop this young girl in there and I'm going to drop that in there. Now you can see her whole head's cut off. It's not working for me where she is at this particular time. So all I do is I click on it and I go up to the top here and I hit the word crop. Now I can move her around. I can make sure she's exactly where I want her to be. That's kind of working for me. I click outside again and there she is. I've now created.
Amazing.
What I also might want to do for this particular thing is make that floor disappear. So I'm actually going to make her a bit bigger. I want that bit of floor to go around way. I'm going to move her up there because I want this to be all color. I don't want you to see that little white. And now when anything I do with this, I'm actually doing with the in one as well, the one that's inside. So it's also a fantastic way. Like, for example, if you're selling cakes or anything you want, you can create this. I'm going to teach you, while we're on here, I'm going to teach you one of my favorite Canva tricks. Using that same, I wonder if I can use this. There's a bit too much on the outside. So let's in fact use this young lady over here. So one of my favorite things in Canva is the background remover. It's an incredibly powerful tool, but the background remover only comes with a paid version of Canva. If you can't, you can search for background remover and you can find it. But this, to me, is the winner of winners. I just click here and I click on background remover. I let it do its work. It'll take a few seconds to do its work. You'll see how good Canva is today.
Sure.
Unfortunately, it removed her
Shadow.
no, not the shadow, her cape as well. So I can click on this button to restore. I can see the original one behind there, and I can actually myself add the cape. It's never quite, I'm not going to take too much time to get it perfect, but just to show you that I can add back parts of the cape that I want. I'm not going to, as I said, I'm not going to worry too much about getting this one spot on.
And that you're just doing with the brush size. Is that what I'm seeing you
Yes.
do?
There we are. So I'm just going to bring the brush slide down because I want to go into this little corner here. So I'm just holding my mouse down and I'm using the brush. I overwent. I'll go back to erase. Just take off this little bit that I left. But as I said, I don't want to spend too much time trying to perfect this. I just want to show you an effect. So now I go done, and I've now got this little image of her that's standing out from the background. Now I'm going to go back to, I'm going to go to another slide right below it. There I clicked add, just to get rid of that. Just to go back, here I am. I want to add a page. I click on add a page at the bottom here. And now I'm going to go back to that picture of her that I found. And I'm going to go and look for a nice big frame. Let's go back to the elements, go back to the frames. And this time I'm actually going to look for a heart or something a little unusual if they've got a heart shape. Frames, let's type in heart, see if there is one. Beautiful search function, this, by the way. Oh no, there isn't a framed heart. So let's go back to frames. Enter. I'm going to find something. Okay, let's use this cell phone. Now I'm going to pop the cell phone over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that really nice picture that I found of that girl, and I'm going to drop it into the frame. Now, as you can see, she's really not where I want it to be. So once again, I'm just going to do it crop, and I'm just going to move her across. I actually want some of her arm and her cape to stick out. There she is. And now I'm going to do something. I'm going to take this picture that I made over here, this one up here. I'm going to press Control C. I'm going to bring it down here, and I'm going to press Control V. Now what I'm going to try and do, sorry. Now what I actually want to do is I actually want to overlay her so that she's by holding, I want it to be, no, I don't want to go in that frame. Oh, so one of the tricks is if you need to move her when there's a frame is that you actually use your arrow keys. So let's just stretch her a little bit. She's kind of about that big. Move her across. There's our little superhero. Now I'm going to do something. Now it looks like she's actually coming out of the foam. That's the effect that I want to create. I'm just going to take it to the corner because I want to. Problem when you move stuff around that's together. This one. And the other ones actually become a background. Every time I make a mistake, all I do is just go to my, let's group the two together. Now they're a group. I can make them a little bigger. I can put that there. Now I can go, in fact, I want to make a little poster. So I'm not happy about the size. The Facebook size is not big enough. I want some more space on my right-hand side. So I'm going to click up here on my resize. And now I'm going to look for something a bit bigger. I know that 1920 by 1080 is kind of a video size. And I'm going to hit copy and resize. So it's going to keep this one the way it is. And it's going to make me a new copy of the one that I just made. There she is. Now I can move this whole thing across here. I want to find a nice background. I'm going to go back to photographs. I'm going to look for playground. And I'm going to put this playground here. I'm going to right click on it, set image as background. And then I'm going to add some text to it. And I'm going to write here, there is a superhero in every one of us.
But Mike, can one do this on the free version? Like
There's some, yes, you can set backgrounds. The only thing you can't do on the free version is you can't do, you can't do, let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm just adding to make it stand out. I've just went back to my lift and I brought it, so there's a superhero in all of us. What you can't do is you can't get a transparent background. You can't make one yourself. You can't turn an image into a transparent background. That's about the only thing that you can't do here. So there's a superhero in all of us. I can look at the background. I can say, you know what? I actually want that background to be slightly out of focus. I don't want it to take away from the rest. So I go to adjust. There's a blur feature up there. And I'm just going to blur the background so that you know that there's a park in the background, but it's now not the main part of it.
Yeah, I understand that you blurred the background. How did you just select to only blur the background and not the woman in the cell phone?
So just by touching the background, you see, if I touch the letters, I touch the background, I touch her. So right now, I know that I'm working with the background. So when I go to adjust, I go back to blur. I can blur it more or less. But 3 seemed to be a really nice number for blurring. In fact, maybe even 4. I'll just go up to 4. So there's my blur on that side. So there's a superhero in all of us. So a nice little thing I can do now with the font is I can go here. Remember I told you I've uploaded my own fonts. I can click on fonts and I can go and look for the Batman font, because this one just might look better in a Batman font, because that's kind of a superhero font. So there's a superhero in all of us. There it is. I quite like that. I'm going to put it there, but I'm still not finished with my design. It's still not sitting really nice for me. I'm going to go back to my elements and I'm going to look for a badge. I want to look for a badge that I can put in the background. We'll look for something that makes her look like a superhero. Do we have a superhero type badge here? Come on, someone help me. Let's pop this one there just for fun. I'm going to make it really nice and big, or at least bigger than the letters. Now, what's our problem? It's in front of the letters instead of behind them. Go up to position and hit backwards. And there we go. There's a superhero in all of this. I can look at that yellow. I can click on the yellow here, and I can change its color. But another thing I can do, I can go down here and I can look at the colors that were already used in the pictures. So I can give it the same background as the blue, or I can give it the same pink as her top. I can look at our lettering. I can say to them, okay, let's change the lettering. Let's go back there. Let's look for the blue. No, blue's not working for me. Let's make a little lighter blue. Go back to my effects. Drop the intensity. I don't really need it so much anymore. I can also decide at this stage that I want this to be a lot bigger. So I'll just go like that. Oh, look at me. I left out the E from one of us, and none of you noticed.
I did.
Did you? You didn't tell me. I'm shocked. No. I'm shocked. So I can have a look at that. And now I've created this little advert. So maybe this is a play school. Oh, let's say this is an advert for Here Gear. For some reason, Charlene's running some testing for children at the moment. So now I'm going to go back to my folders. I'm going to go to my miscellaneous logos. And I'm going to search through them all until I find that Here Gear logo with no background. That one's got white on it. For my transparent Here Gear logo, I'm going to bring that in there. I'm just going to adjust its size. I'm going to pop it in there. And then I'm going to run a nice little advert for her. So I'm going to go to my elements. I just want to put a nice little bar across it. I'm going to run a bar all the way across here with an advert in it. See how easy it is to change the size of it. I'll bring it down to like there. And now I actually want this part to be in front. So I'll go to position, I'll go to forward, 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 forward. There we are. So that wasn't lost there. In fact, this here can go backwards, position backwards. It can be behind there. I can make this in Charlene's purple or a purple. Oh, there's her purple. It's already showed me exactly what her purple is. And I don't want it to be, I can go here, I can drop its opacity. So it's just forming a nice bar there. And I've given something to write in. Let's say free hearing testing kids. Drop its size down quite considerably. Bring it in there. It's a bit too small for me. Bring it in there, change its color to white. I'll write something else underneath it. It wouldn't be Wednesday mornings because kids would be at school on a Wednesday morning. It certainly wouldn't be Saturday because you don't work on Shabbos. So we'll have to make it Sunday morning. Sunday mornings from 8 till 10. Bring it down there. Change, make it bold. Come on, come on. Make it bold. Make it smaller. Make it white. There we go. So there's just some of the, move it around because my eyes are telling me it needs to be a bit higher. So there's that one.
I love the idea of the cell phone and the child coming to life because it's such an important part of our lives.
I mean, sure, you can do almost anything, and it's an incredibly powerful program. People just underestimate how powerful it is. So that's my fonts, that's my design side. Now I'm going to teach all the business people a couple of other little tricks that you want to know. Here's something I learned the other day just for myself. So I'm going to close that one. Now, the really nice thing is that the moment I close it and I go back to home and I refresh my home page, it's going to pop up as my latest design. And let me just see quickly if I can connect my iPad for you, just while I'm waiting for that to open. Where's my QR code scanner?
So sorry, Mike, do you have to save the design or will it all automatically end up in your design page?
It happens automatically. That's the beauty of it.
Okay, great.
You don't have to do anything. Sorry, I'm just trying to connect to my QR code. I'm not running with my iPad today. So the really nice thing is that it's there. In fact, everything that I've done is always there. I never have to worry. If I suddenly have to save something, then there is a save button. So when something's open, for example, here's this banner that we were using over here. I'll just pop a picture in there. If I'm in a rush, I can hit File, Save. But that thing is, it's automatically saving all the time. I can save it to a folder. But there it is. And let me just do one more thing before I go on from there. I'm going to go back to our previous design. Now, obviously, I don't need this top one anymore. So there's a button over there, a delete button. I can just delete that page. So I've now got this down into one page. Now, the only thing I haven't shown yet is how to download it and in what format to download it. By hitting on the download button over here, it gives me a whole lot of choices. My go-to is PNG. A PNG is almost like a JPEG, except it's a much better format. It scales better. So I always suggest, it'll always be my suggested one, is that you download it as a PNG. I can, for example, if I'm sending it off to someone, I can download it as a PDF. So now I'm going to save it as a PDF. Now, there's something interesting about PDFs that aren't available anywhere else. So I want to do something for you now, because this is a question I get asked all the time. I'm just going to go to Elements and type in, click here. And I'm going to just find a nice little click here, standard click here. I'll just put it up there. I'll just make it a bit smaller. There we go. What I am going to do quickly while we're on this is I'm quickly going to go to here, .co.za, simply because I want to make sure I've got the rights. There is that beautiful website. What can I say? Control C. Go back here to my design, which is the one we're working on. Now I'm going to click on that, and there's a link button up here at the top right. And I'm going to click on that link button, and I'm going to add the website address in there. And I'm going to click Apply. Now I've created a clickable link in the document. But please remember that when I download it, if I download it as a PNG or a JPEG and I try and paste it on Facebook, that is not going to work. The only time a clickable link works is if I download it as a PDF. But you can't load PDFs to Facebook or anywhere, that you can only send them. So that's the one limitation, is you cannot include links. But just for fun, I'm going to include it in there. I'm actually going to download it, just to show you it working.
Mark, how's it? Can I ask you,
Sure.
Can you send that as a WhatsApp picture?
But it
Would
won't be
that work?
clickable. No.
But still not clickable. Okay.
So the only thing that's got a live link in it is a PDF.
Okay. And you can't send a PDF as a WhatsApp picture?
Now, you can send the whole PDF and they can open it, but you can't. So
Right.
you could say, yes, you can send a PDF. Let me clear that up. You can send a PDF,
Okay.
but they won't see the picture until they've opened it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
fine.
here
So
what
there's
looks
no
like-
other way of adding a link to an actual picture?
Absolutely. I want you to, in fact, maybe let me just show you. So let me just click here. I'm clicking
Thank
there. And what it's doing is it's actually opening the Here Gear website. So I'm able to send a clickable PDF. But I just want to come back to our image. And I want to show you something. I want you to imagine, this is how I want you to imagine a picture. Every time you see a picture, it's like looking at a picture behind a glass frame. You can look at it. You can touch the frame. You can't actually touch the picture. You could draw on the outside of the frame, but you can't draw on the picture. That's what a JPEG is. A JPEG is a picture behind a piece of glass. So nothing clickable, nothing editable, nothing I can do. That's probably the best way to describe a JPEG, because people always ask me, yes, but I want to embed a link in my JPEG. No, you can't. Unfortunately not. It's a picture behind a piece of glass. So what you do then is on somewhere over here, I would write instead, I would write something like text. So I just want to use something a little bit unusual. It's actually a lousy one. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just Control Z. Don't forget your Control Z every time you make a mistake. I'm just going to add in here, click on link in description. That's the only thing you can do with a picture. For example, when you're putting on Facebook, is you can make people aware that it's there. Let's make it stand out a bit. Yellow will probably stand out quite nicely. No, yellow's a shocker. I will go back to black. And just to make it, I'm going to go back to my elements. I'm going to go back to my click. I'm going to drop that click in there. Make it smaller. So that's kind of the best you can do with the pictures. You can tell people that the description or the link is in the description above. So I hope that helps you. Unfortunately, no, you can't add clicks, but you can add them. You can make any part of this thing clickable by hitting the link, by entering a website, of clicking apply, and it will be clickable when someone gets it as a PDF.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Now I want to jump across to something that the business people out there might not know and want to know. That you can build your whole presentation, the entire presentation, you can build it here in Canva. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to go to nice spelling, Mike. Presentation. I'm going to go to presentation. Now I want you to see there are two different size presentations. There's 4:3, which is the size of an iPad, and there's 1920 by 1080, also known as 16:9, which is a standard computer screen. This is your go-to one. In fact, I recommend you always use that. I click on presentation, and what it's gonna offer me is a whole lot of presentations that I can use to create my own presentations from. So this is kind of my first thing. What am I doing it on? Am I hiring? Is there a look and feel that I like? Here's a nice gym one. There's a gym routine one. Yes.
Do you prefer this to PowerPoint? What are your views on that?
I'm starting to prefer it more and more as I learn more tricks with it. But one of the things I've learned to do is to make my slides here and then import them to PowerPoint, because I find PowerPoint easier to present off. So I'm just going to show you what I might do. So I'll click on here. And this is a black and white yellow model presentation on social media marketing. Let's say I want to do it. My next talk's on social media. So instead of going to create my own slides, I could actually go here and I can find the slides that I want and edit them really, really quickly. So for example, I don't want this picture. I want to go here and I want Facebook. Type in the word Facebook. There's a Facebook logo. Drop that into that slide there. Doesn't actually work very well. I'm going to put something else in there just for fun. Put that in. I prefer that one. I can make my own changes to my. I can move this around. I can change the wording. I can create my entire font. I can go here where that is. I can make this. Double click on it. I can make this Mike said what? School of Marketing, session 1. I can give it its own name. It's an incredibly fast way to build presentations. You get much better templates. You know, when you download a template in PowerPoint, all you get is a single template. You get the look and feel that goes on the back. Instead of getting all the different slides, you can use the process, and any that I don't want to use, no problem. I simply go to page 5 and I delete page 5. It's as simple as that. Now, another trick I want to teach you is that when you're working with multiple pages like this, I can name them. So I can add, first of all, I can name this particular thing. This is my AutoJet social media talk March 2021. So I've given it a name. But another thing I could do is I can actually name individual pages, and that also helps me when I start downloading things. So this one I can call opening slide. This one here I might call video slide, because that's what's on. But I can name them for myself, just they help me find them a bit later on. So now let's say this is my presentation. I've built it, I've created it. Everything I want is on here. I have a whole lot of options. I just want to cut it down by a couple of pages, just because I want to download it and I don't want to have to wait for all this. But you can see how many magnificent pages are actually here that I can choose from. I can use. They're perfectly formatted. Control Z, go back to the contact page. There it is. So this is my presentation. I've downloaded it. I'm ready. Now I have to decide what to do with it. For one thing, I can actually present here on. I can start presenting to you off the slide. And you'll see my presentation like you would. So it kind of presents. The only thing it doesn't allow me to do, which I like about PowerPoint, is I can't bring things in one at a time. I can't bring in elements one at a time. But that's one way to present. Another thing I can do is actually download them as PNG files. There they are. I'm going to download them all. Now, one thing I want you to notice is in the past, when I downloaded a picture, only one picture downloaded at a time. Now I'm downloading all of them at the same time. So it's not going to download 7 different files. It's going to download them all at the bottom here as a zipped file. You see in my bottom right, there's my file. If I click on the right-hand side, I can show it in the folder. There it is sitting in my folder. I'm going to right-click on it and I'm going to extract it. I use something called 7-zip. You might have WinZip. It doesn't matter what your extraction is. If you don't have extraction software, I do recommend 7-zip. I don't get paid by them, but it's really, really nice. And then I can extract them all to AutoJet. And now I will find a folder here with AutoJet, and there are all my pictures over here. Now, what I can do, I'm just going to move them a little bit out of the way for the meantime, and I'm going to open PowerPoint. So I'm looking at multiple screens. Now I've opened PowerPoint. Here it is. I can double click blank presentation. And I can, for example, just drag this picture. In fact, let's just clear up this and just make it into a plain slide. Here are my pictures, and so you can see what I'm actually doing. There they are. I'm simply going to drag and drop that one into there, and there it is. Then I'm going to move that up there. And the second slide, where's my folder? I'm going to drop that in there. There's going to be my second slide. Now I've created another presentation here in PowerPoint that I can use at any time. I can save it. It plays like an absolutely normal presentation. There I am, I'm running through it. So now we've found a really powerful way to use, I'm going to close PowerPoint, don't save. I'm going to teach you another feature that I recently learned about this. If I click on these 3 dots over here, I can actually find a button here that says present and record.
Where? Oh.
Top right there. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on the button that says go to recording studio. Now you can see there's me. I'm actually there. I could move myself around a bit. I don't do that for the moment, but I'm going to hit the word start recording. 3, 2, 1. Hi, this is Mike Said, and I'm going to be presenting social media marketing trends, how to create effective and relevant content. The things we're going to discuss today, there'll be takeaways. We'll be exploring the different channels, key findings, tips from the experts, examples, and how brands work online. When I'm finished, I just hit end recording. And now what it's going to do is actually going to create a video of my recording for me. So if any of you that do e-learning or would like to send one of your clients careful instructions on how to change a battery in the hearing aid, how to add something, I'm not sure who else is with me today, what other businesses are with me today. I can't see everyone, but easy to do. Now I've got another option. I can copy this link. Now I've copied the link, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop into the chat. There's the chat. I'm sorry I can't watch it at the same time. And if you go click on that link that's in the chat, you can actually watch my video. Or what I can do is I can actually download it myself. So I can save it on my own computer. There it is. I think. Come on. Obviously, the longer the presentation, that's why I try to keep it really short. The longer the presentation, the longer it'll take for you to download it and to record your presentation. Almost there. Almost. It's like Microsoft time. It's like you never quite reach the end. Ah, there we go. Continue editing. Here it is in the bottom. I'm just going to double click on it. It's probably going to open in the wrong window, so I'm going to move it across. Here it is. Hi, this is Mike Said, and I'm going to be presenting social media marketing trends, how to create effective and relevant content. The things we're going to discuss today, there'll be takeaways. We'll be exploring the different channels, key findings, tips from the experts, examples, and how brands work online. When I'm finished, I just hit, so I'm going to actually delete that recording just to get rid of it for now. So now I've taken Canva, which everyone used as a little design tool that was only used for making an Instagram picture or maybe someone's birthday. And I've turned it into a very powerful, not only marketing, but a business tool as well. I'm able to build my presentations here in considerably better than what I can on PowerPoint because of the wonderful templates that they offer. If I go back here and I just click on templates, it'll bring back all the templates. If I don't like that particular one, I go look for another one. Let's say I'm doing a team building. I can search in here for team building. See where, there's team building. Yeah, we are effective teamwork. Let's add this one. Let's, just want to delete all of these quickly. I'm not sure what happens if they happen to be here. Delete. Just on a blank slide, apply all 15 slides. Here we've got a whole new presentation ready for me to build, change, do as I like. I don't like that one. Yes.
So my power went off while you showed us where to find the template for the presentations. Is it on that templates button?
Simply click on the word template up there. And whatever you're in, so for example, let's say right now I am building presentations. If I go back here and I'm going to create a design, but this time I'm going to create a Facebook post. Now when I go to templates, I will find Facebook post templates.
I see, okay.
So if you're having a little cookie sale, there's a little cookie sale, pop it in, change whatever you want, move the cookie around if you like. So the one thing I really love about Canva is, for example, if let's say I'm having it's a cake sale, go to photos, go search for cake. Anything that's got a gray background, I know is already a cutout, so I can pop that in. It hasn't got a background. Pretty ugly cake, but anyway, what do I know? But let's say I want this cake here. That's actually the cake that I want to show. So I have a choice. I can either just make this my background, move it around a bit so that it kind of comes over there. I might, for example, decide I want that. Or what I can do is I can actually go back to my favorite effect, which is background remover. Let Canva do its thing. I'm hoping it gets it right this time.
In the free version, is there a way to get around background remover? Is there a way to do it automatically yourself?
No, you'd have to go to a new website and search for background remover online. And there you'll find remove BG, which is actually the one. And you can upload an image there. So let's quickly do that for you so we can see how well this works. So I'm going back to my untitled design. I want to detach from background. I've now got this little cutout piece of cake. I can move it around. I can put it anywhere. But what we're going to do for the sake of this is we're going to go and move that whole background. Pop this picture in here. Set images background. I'm going to download this as a PNG file. Just a normal PNG file, just so that I've got it. I'm going to go to background remover. I'm going to take it and I'm just going to drag it in there. It's a drag and drop feature. I'm going to let it do its thing. Here we go. And I'm going to download it. If I want to download HD, I probably have to pay. That's going to be my guess. It'll cost me 1 credit if I want to download high definition, but I can probably download the low definition. It is there. Go back here, bring it in. There it is. So yes, there is a workaround. It just means leaving the site for a few seconds and coming back. And let's just pop that in the chat for you. Go to the chat. Yeah, I've put the link for background remover there. So if you haven't got the paid version of Canva and you still want to do this background removal, which is a very, very powerful tool, don't be shy, put a bit of extra work in, go and do it there. Maybe even sign up with them, see how much it costs you. You might get a couple of credits for free, but it's definitely worth it at that particular time. So just to go back to our presentation. So as I said, what I've done with Canva today is not only have I shown you some really powerful edit tools, things that most people wouldn't know about, background removers, how to move them around, how to make things look like they're jumping out of the box. I've also shown you that those of you that are using Canva for business, how easy it is to start building your presentations here. Oh, by the way, here's a coaching one. So let's say you're a life coach. You want to build a coaching presentation. There we go. Almost every page you want. Characteristics, specifics, timely, meaningful. To build slides like this in PowerPoint would literally take you days, because you'd start off with a single element, and what you'll notice that they do is that everything matches. And now, for example, all pictures are in grayscale. All pictures are of high quality. So you're not getting those terrible PowerPoint presentations where people have taken images that have actually got stock written on the back of them and things that are pixelating and then something that's jumping out. It's an incredibly powerful tool. I can see that an hour and 15 minutes have absolutely flown by already. So instead of me talking right now, I'm going to open it to questions and anything that someone's struggling with, something I can cover for you. You don't have to wear your mask, Charlene. We're all on the side of the screen. So allow me to open this to the panel and say, is there anything anyone would like me to cover?
I just want to ask, in terms of the background remover, can I do it off the internet when you go into www.remove.bg, or do I have to download that program to my or thing to my computer?
No, it's happening live on the internet. You don't download it.
Okay, so every time I need to remove a background, I just go to that website, quickly do it there, and then bring it into Canva.
Exactly. That's exactly what you'll do. What you might want to do, for example, is keep it background, remove it online. So don't forget, here's another little powerful tool. And that's your little favorite button up there. Add it to favorite so you don't have to go looking for it all the time. Put it in your favorite bars if you want. Pin it even if you like, so that it's always there. Now, anytime I want, I just go there, drop it in, take it out, drop it in, take it out. But I can tell you, here's another suggestion. Pay for Canva. It's absolutely worth it. Sorry, I'm not sure if you're seeing the screen go black every now and again. My video's acting up a little bit. Did that help you?
Yes, thanks. Okay, I've just got to practice. Thank you.
Sure, of course. So while we're on the subject of practice, I'm not sure, is my screen going black on your side?
No, we can see it, Mark.
Oh, yeah, okay, so on my side, I'm having a
Dean
little
has
bit
a question.
Sure.
Can you quickly show us how to get the record feature for presentations again, please?
With pleasure. Here is our presentation. Here's where we are. So here are our options. Over there, I can just click present, and I can click present standard, autoplay. That's if I've already timed it, or present a view. Now, if I click present a view, then I'm getting that kind of view that you get on Facebook, where I can see, here's the present, here's what my audience are seeing, and the other one is what I'm seeing. But Canva just disappear. So that's one view. I'm going to go out of that view. The other view is the standard view, but on the right-hand side there are those three buttons. Three buttons always mean more. I click on them, and then I can present, I can download, I can present and record, or I can share the link. And in this case, I'm going to go present and record. It's going to say to me, go to the recording studio. It's going to tell me I can move my own camera. I can see where I am. I'm using a camera that unfortunately has those bars. Or maybe if I come a bit closer, no, not really. I'm playing with my camera while I do this. I can also change the camera that I'm using. So for example, I'm using a particular, I've used my computer camera. So now I'm presenting with a camera kind of on my laptop, not on my TV cam. I can choose which microphone I want to use. I have the microphone here in front of me. When I'm ready, I press start recording. It gives me a countdown, 3, 2, 1. Hi, welcome to Coaching for Success, learning the art of giving effective feedback. Did you know that 58% of presentations are communication tools that can be used in blah, 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 blah. I don't want to try and read it. What are the characteristics of effective feedback? Let's look at 2 very specific cases. Presentations are common tools that can be used as demonstration. And that's how easy it is. When I'm finished, once again, hit end recording, allow it to do its thing, and decide whether or not I want to send a link. That link will always be available. I don't even have to send the video to clients. I can send them that link in a WhatsApp. I can say, go and watch. Someone phones me up and says, Mike, I'm struggling with how to get to the stage. Copy link. There it is. Save and exit. Delete recording. Okay. Go to my WhatsApp. Pop it in there. You'll see the new recording just popped up on your chat. So that's where the save recording is.
So will you put that link into the PowerPoint also?
Well, I just popped that link in of me talking, but I haven't got a link on. I haven't created a lesson on how to do this. But I can. That's also easy. I just go Control Print Screen, and I open up my screen printer, and I get a rectangle, and I'll show you those 3 dots over there. And I press Enter. Then I do that, and I go Control Print Screen, and I get a rectangle, and I put it around Present and Share. And I'll make this a little image up. I'll make this a little image. Press Enter. Go back. Control Print Screen. I'll drop these pictures in there for you so you can find them. Go to Messages, add a file from my computer, go to Documents. I know where to find this, I hope. Library, My PC, Documents, ShareX, Screenshots, Today. Where are my screenshots? Yes. Opened. I've sent you a file, so you shouldn't forget how to do that. Go back to my computer, on the second file. So I like to talk to myself while I'm working. So now I've sent you 2 images that'll show you exactly where to find it. You shouldn't get lost again. Any other questions?
Mark,
Anyone
yes.
battling? Yes, Philip.
2 questions. One, right earlier on in the beginning of your presentation, you're talking about how to create a design for Facebook. Does that work for LinkedIn as well?
Does that work?
Does it work for LinkedIn as well?
Yes. So for example, I'm going to go straight back here, and I want to create a LinkedIn banner, which is I want to put that banner along the top of my LinkedIn.
Right.
So I just click on LinkedIn banner. I can actually choose from if there's a template that I like, or I can start again. I can simply click on the blank one. What do you do, Philip?
I'm in the food industry.
On what level? Tell me on what level.
Food QA QC, quality assurance and quality control.
Food quality. Look for food quality. I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to set that as my background image. I'm going to, that's kind of where I want it to be, just for fun. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to make it a little, I want it to be a little bit transparent. There it is. Then I'm going to take this approved sticker. I'm going to pop it there. I'm quickly just going to remove the background. I didn't search for one that was blank. Come on. And what's the name of the company?
The P Factor Food Company.
The P
for Philip. The P's in quotation marks. The P Factor Food Company.
Is only the P in inverted commas or the factor as well?
No, just the P. That's
P Factor
Food Company.
Is it, oh, it's all one word.
No, it's separate words. The P Factor Food Company. You can put CO is also fine, but that's fine.
Yeah, let's make it like that for you.
Okay, thank you.
So there we go. I want to just give myself a little bit of space. I'm just going to drag that a bit closer there. P Factor Food Company. Now, I want to tell you something strange about LinkedIn, which we all learn along the way. Is that when LinkedIn shows up on your desktop, I'm just going to quickly go into my elements. I want to find the block quickly. Your profile picture is going to pop up somewhere over here. You can go and check it, but it's more or less over here. So what I need to make sure is that I have no writing in that spot over here. When it shows up on the phone, then the profile picture sits somewhere in the middle there. So I might have to move that up. So I kind of try, those are two spaces that I try not to put any important design in because I know they're going to be lost.
Right.
And it's the same when you're building a Facebook banner. You need to understand that the Facebook banner is going to your profile pic is going to end up there.
Right.
So let's say I've built this and I'm happy with it. I could put more in it. I could put more words. I could put your website, whatever I want in it. When I'm ready, I simply go download. I download as a PNG. There it is, download.
Now, does that save to the to a folder in Canva, or is it a separate folder?
You've now downloaded it to your own folder, and it'll always be your download folder. So setting, show in folder. Come on, there it is. There's my downloads folder.
Okay.
Everything I want is sitting here in the downloads folder. But my downloads folder gets full. I literally have to save my download folder to my hard drive every now and again because otherwise I just fill up my computer really, really fast. So now once it's there, I could go to LinkedIn. I'll quickly go to LinkedIn for you. Just bring a thing here. LinkedIn.com. For those of you that have trouble remembering your passwords and have to log in and log out all the time, go and find something called LastPass, free password manager. Start using LastPassword and start using proper passwords instead of password 123 and nonsense like that. Let me tell you another clue. What really does make a good password is your registration, your car registration. ZNY328GP, which is mine, would make a very powerful password. It'd be hard to find. Here, once I'm here, I can just click on Mike Sade. I can edit that over there. I'm going to.
Sorry, where did you find that LastPassword link?
I'll go back there. LastPass.
Yeah.
You need to download LastPass. Just download it and then add it to your browser.
Okay, thank you.
and make one very powerful password. So now here I am. I'm going to change the photo. I'm going to open that up. There it is. I'm going to apply. I must try and remember to change this back later. Otherwise, I'm going to be advertising for Philip. But there we go. And as I said, there is my logo. So I've tried not to put anything important in that left-hand side over there. So that's how easy it is. Same with changing Facebook banners, anything you want. It's easy. I can tell you now.
Okay, thank you. Mark, one more question.
Sure, of course.
If I want to save this folder to, or this design to one of those yellow folders in the, on the PC itself, you know, like when you're saving documents, you've got those yellow folders. Does Canva allow that?
Yes, well, let me just go to Canva quickly. Open Canva again. Go to myself. Go there. Go to my account settings. Let's see if it doesn't tell me where I can download it. Features. Login security. I think it's going to default to my
To your website.
No, so no, it's going to default to my download folder. There's a folder called downloads.
Right.
So let me just go back into account settings. I want to see if I can change it for you, but that's not a problem if you can't.
It's not. I'm just asking because I tried to. I was looking. I've got the unpaid, the free version of Canva on my desktop and my laptop, which I don't have at the moment. It's in full service, and I was finding that it only went into Canva folders, not into the yellow folders, like you say, where you would save documents and all that.
No, as soon as you download it, save somewhere. There's not even a question. It won't save your design in a yellow folder. Your design will sit with Canva.
Right.
But anything you download will be sitting on your computer.
Okay, thank you.
So pretty simply, then what I can do is I can open that folder over there, show in folders, and I can say cut. I can go to my desktop.
New folder.
Exactly. New folder, Canva elements. Spelled that so completely wrong, I can't even believe it by not looking.
No, nobody's looking.
Charlene always looks. She's very strict with me. Control V, paste it, there it is. So now I've moved it into keeping all my pictures in the same folder. I could even go to pictures, and in pictures, I can create separate folders. So here I can create one called new folder, Canva elements. And I could move it there.
Okay.
So once it's on your computer, you can do whatever you like with it, wherever you like.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Sure.
it.
Any other questions that came through, Trace, that I've missed?
No, a number of people have had to get off, so they've just been saying thank you and how valuable and informative they've found it. But I think in terms of all the questions that we've had, you've really covered everything, Mark. And for me particularly, it's so nice being at the office with the rest of the team, because we've all just sat here for literally an hour and a half, just going, wow, wow.
Just before I disappear, I just want to answer one question here from Brenda. She's still here. Brenda Newberg. Well, I'll show you all something. Let's say I'm sending this now to the printer.
She is here, yes.
Yes. So this I need something to be really high quality. Then I'm going to hit download. I'm going to go to PDF high quality PDF. And I'm also going to include crop marks for the printer. It's automatically going to show him where to crop, cut, and print. Now I'm going to download it, and it's going to download as a high quality PDF, which is strong enough to send to any printer for anything you want. When he gets it and he opens it, he will receive this. In the corners will be the actual crop marks, There'll be bleed to make sure you don't lose anything. So that's what you do when you're sending high quality images to printers, or if you need to your clients. Okay. So that's me. Thank you, everyone.
So, Mark, thank you so